is Cornelia Krześniak. I'm super excited because it's my first final in ITF, and it's really, really great feeling. I don't know. I hope I will play really well.
Okay, I'm Rosemary Owino. I'm one of the directors of Extreme Tennis and a tennis coach, and also the technical director from Tennis Kenya. This is an International Tennis Federation Extreme Parklands tennis tournament. International tournament because it's open to other countries. So at the moment we have about 24 countries taking part in this tournament. 72 players in the competition, and sponsored by Parkland Sports Club, Coca-Cola, MMS Advocates, and of course Extreme Tennis. It's a tournament that is hosted. It's like an entry level for juniors who want to play professional or go to college. It's a good place to start. They gather points over the year or the years in order to play bigger events, and then hopefully with that they're able to get good rankings, international rankings that can allow them to either apply for scholarships to different universities or play professional tennis if they choose to. I think for Extreme Tennis, this is an event that we've been preparing for, if I say for years, because we normally host mini tennis events. So this is actually our first time to host a tournament of this caliber. So it's taken quite a long time planning, funding. Luckily, the last couple of months it's been a little bit positive because Parkland Sports Club was willing to partner with us, and then of course Coca-Cola, Dasani stepped in, and then MMS Advocates. So they helped us come up with either in-kind sponsorships or financial to be able to help us put together this whole picture, pay officials, pay Tennis Kenya and the International Tennis Federation in order for them to allow us to host this event. So it's taken us quite a long time. It's just to approach us or Tennis Kenya, and then Tennis Kenya will direct them to Extreme Tennis, or to come straight to Extreme Tennis or through Parkland Sports Club, because an event like this, one of the things Extreme Tennis believes in is nurturing the young talents. Bringing up the youth, using sports to teach them how to be better people, and then in the process hoping that they can achieve something through sports, that they can be positive people in life. I mean, not everybody who takes part in sports becomes a professional, but we have so many lessons that we learn through sports, and these are some of the things we're trying to teach and educate parents, players themselves, officials in schools, the importance of sports. So since what Extreme Tennis does is beyond just doing events like these, we do educational stuff. We had a symposium as part of this tournament last week on Tuesday that was themed youth sport development. So it's basically development of the youth through sports. These are some things that if there are organizations that want to work together with us to instill these disciplines to young people, I think we are definitely very easy to work with, because I think so far we have a portfolio that shows that we do give results. We do give back to society is our big things. Not just myself. I'm one of the people who I am today because of sports. I was a late starter in the sport that now I'm involved in, so I understand the importance of taking part in sports. So these opportunities that we give to coaches, players, officials to take part in these events is not only because it's not just to develop the players, it's to develop a whole ecosystem of sports. So we hope that we can work together with more parties. Everybody who says that they're interested in development of a nation, we need to develop sport. Well, it's been rainy, and because the tennis courts we have in Kenya are Maram courts, it's been very hard. So when we travel to a lot of tournaments out there, they have hard courts indoor. So no weather conditions affect such events. We've got our event here, which when it rains, it's a blessing, but it means that we miss half a day or a whole day of tennis. So if the tournament is 1 week and it rains 2 or 3 of those days, so one of the things that we'd like to request is maybe to come up with big companies like Safaricom, for example, that will probably not feel a pinch in building 12 to 24 indoor courts somewhere, work in partnership with clubs like Parkland Sports Club, for example. Build hard courts indoor that ensure that when we have events like these, a lot more kids can take part, because if we have these facilities, then we're going to have a lot more kids playing. Yeah, and that means that when we have an event like this, a lot more kids from Kenya are represented, and then they can do better, get scholarships. I mean, look at Angie right now, for example. You wouldn't think that Angie would be able to be where she is right now if it were not for this sport.
For sure.
Exactly. Over the years, I've been in tennis probably 20 years and plus. I have to say it's an area where I feel our government can improve in. Working with federations to improve the ecosystem of sport. It's not just about facilities. I've just used that as one example. Facilities is a big problem, but encouraging the athletes themselves, opening up opportunities. How many universities in Kenya say they give full scholarships to athletes?
I've not heard of any.
Exactly. If we partner with the government and say that our top athletes are given free education at at University of Strathmore, right? Our top athletes are given free education at our government universities and some private universities. This can encourage our athletes to get better education and give back to sport. That's one area. Facilities is another area. Work with federations to expose our athletes, get them out there to compete in international events. We are bringing these international events into Kenya. At one point, our government needs to step in and run these international events, come and give the funding a lot more easily. I mean, yeah, I know we normally say if we give federations money, they misuse it. But if we hold federations accountable, I think we need to support the federations a lot more, because a lot of joblessness of young people can really be slashed by spending more money in sports. And not just on facilities, it's the whole system. Because if you look at officials, these are people who make money from sports. So when we host an event like this, we have local officials, right? We have local guys who do the courts, okay? We've got the clubs and the people that sell stuff in those clubs. Then we've got the tournament itself. We've got the athletes then. And then you've got coaches who work with these athletes. So you are actually, by running this event for 2 weeks, you benefit such a big number of people than our players spending $2,000 to go play the same event, maybe in Morocco or Tunisia. It's a lot more money to go, but we benefit a lot more people when we host this event. So you can imagine if we work with the government, and the government maybe convinces some of the big organizations to then spend money in sports. Why are we having so many jobless people when sport is an area that needs to be tapped into? It hasn't been tapped into enough.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think a good place to end is maybe you could give some advice to maybe the kids who are in sports, and maybe the coaches who are like, in Kenya you cannot make a career out of sports.
Yes.
What do you have to?
It's interesting that you bring that up, because I was just having a conversation with a young girl who's finished playing. She's finished college. She's 17, turning 18. She's finished high school. She doesn't know what to do with herself now. She doesn't have enough money to go to university. So I'm having a conversation with her, telling her I started coaching when I was 18. Now, the belief that life is only if you get an A at school, I believe is one of the reasons why we have a lot of young people feeling like they're hopeless. This hopelessness mentality is when we're making young people feel like if I don't do well at school, I'm a failure. And that's not true. Because if I play a certain sport and I decide I want to do coaching, all I have to do is get involved with a coach, work with a coach, learn about coaching, and then do coaching courses and become a coach. I am a coach. I don't sleep hungry. I'm not begging. I'm not driving a Mercedes Benz, but I'm not begging. A lot of coaches are not necessarily begging. We are managing to feed our families and survive from sport. Just the same way a banker is able to feed their family and survive in banking or whichever career. Coaching is a career, especially if you go and learn more about it and get educated in coaching and become a qualified coach and get exposure internationally. Just the same way we are saying athletes need to go and get exposure, coaches need to go and get exposure. Some of this exposure we bring home. If you have an event like this, then we have a lot of local coaches who've not had an opportunity to travel and see this level of tennis can come into the tournament and watch. If you come early in the morning at like 6:37, you'll see the coaches with these players working with their players and learn a thing or two as a local coach who maybe is not able to afford to go out there and get exposed to coaching. So kids, young people need to realize there's a lot more to life than just passing or failing. Parents need to realize that there's a lot more they can give to their kids than just take them to school. You take them to school and expose them to as many things as possible. Expose them to swimming, volleyball, hockey, drama, give them a chance. If a child comes home and says, I want to be a professional tennis player, don't laugh it off. If they come home and say, I want to be a professional actor, laugh it off. Give them an opportunity to be more than just an A student.
All right.
Yes.
Thank you so much for being with us.
All right.
And yes, yeah.
Thank you
Throughout
so much.
today and tomorrow.
Yeah.
And we're expecting to see more and more. Yeah.
Thank you
Thank you
much.
so much.
All right. So what's up?